But first, to the increasingly dangerous fiasco of Biden's foreign policy. Remember how the establishment constantly derided Trump's foreign policy? Oh, what a disaster it was. Peace deals in the Middle East and the defeat of ISIS, bringing rogue states like North Korea to the negotiating table, strengthening alliances with strategic partners like Saudi Arabia, India, Brazil, Japan, Israel, and, to the horror of the so-called foreign policy experts, the first US president to recognize and respond to the China threat, to challenge also the ideology of endless war. Indeed, the first president in more than 4 decades not to start a new war. The Trump era is now remembered as a period of relative global peace and stability. How distant that now seems. And how laughable is the establishment's smug claim that with Biden in the White House, the adults are back in the room. Yeah, adults who've just been humiliated by a kid who leaked classified intelligence laying bare not just Biden's failures in Ukraine, but their lies about it. The documents show that in February, the administration knew that China had approved arms shipments to Russia, which would be disguised as civilian aid. But a month after that, here's John Kirby at the White House podium lying about it.
And we've seen no indication that they're about to or fixing to provide lethal weapons.
We've seen no indication. What? Apart from your own intelligence reports a month before? You cannot lie from the White House podium like that. It means the American people can't believe a word Kirby says about anything ever again. Here's Biden lying, this time about Ukraine's prospects.
Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia. Never.
Never. Even as he said that, he knew the opposite was true. According to these leaks, the Biden administration does not actually see a path to victory for Ukraine. This is all a complete shambles. The exact opposite of what they told us.
America's back. We're at the head of the table once again.
Under President Biden's leadership, America is back and respected once again on the world stage.
On the global front, President Biden is a distinguished world leader who commands the respect of allies and adversaries alike.
Give me a break. Biden's trip to Ireland revealed to the whole world the stumbling, mumbling, bumbling Biden we see here every day. Look what the world is now saying about America's president. Here's the London Times headline: "Time's up, Joe. Quit while you're still standing." Even those who respect the US president must face facts. His growing incapacity for office has become embarrassing. The article goes on. Biden looks almost bewildered. Your eyes follow him down the stairs, willing him to hold the banister. You follow his strange, flat delivery, anxious lest he fluff his lines. Face it, fellow respecters of the US president, this is getting embarrassing. And that's from someone who, as he says, is pro-Biden. Biden's obvious inability to lead is now having the gravest consequences for global stability and America's standing. We now have China brokering peace deals in the Middle East. North Korea back to terrorizing its neighbors with missile tests. Saudi Arabia cutting oil production, dumping America in favor of our adversaries, China and Russia. Even Japan doing energy deals with Russia now. We see India, once such a promising ally when Trump was president, now being driven into the arms of Russia. French President Emmanuel Macron in Beijing this week, sucking up to Xi, bragging that Europe won't become America's followers. Who else was in Beijing this week? Oh, only the Brazilian president as well, shortly after striking a deal with China to ditch the US dollar and use China's currency for trade, which Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen just this morning, astonishingly, seemed to think is no big deal and just, the price you pay for US sanctions on Russia over Ukraine.
Is there a danger that we will look back at all this, these measures and say this was the moment that the dollar's hegemony and its status as reserve currency began to falter?
So there is a risk when we use financial sanctions that are linked to the role of the dollar, that over time it could undermine the hegemony of the dollar, as you said.
Oh, okay then. My God, this collapse of American power and prestige under Biden in just 2 years. It is terrifying. And no one is held accountable for any of it. No one held accountable for the total catastrophe of the surrender to the Taliban and the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan, which gave Putin the green light to invade Ukraine. No one held accountable for these latest leaks. They're all blaming the Pentagon, but you could be sure General Milley won't do the honorable thing. No one held accountable for the lies that the leak exposed. Kirby's still there, shameless as ever. I mean, what is this? Milley's a joke, Kirby's a liar, Biden's a feeble, senile fool, and Xi Jinping's taking over. Great.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.